I got it. I figured it out. I'm very confident that I know where Rox D. Xebec's treasure is. The very thing he went to God Valley for, and he fought against the world government, Holy Knights, Marines, even Roger and Garp. The very thing he was looking for, we have seen before in the story of One Piece. Yes, we have seen the treasure of Rox D. Xebec before in the story, and it all really ties in very nicely, particularly when you know that during and after the Road to Laugh Tale, Oda is trying to streamline the story, so previous items or people that weren't going to have that big of a role in the final saga of the series are probably going to be reworked and woven into the final saga in way more meaningful ways and more unexpected ways too. But in the last chapter, One Piece 1155, there are a few key things that Oda reveals about Rox that can tell us what Rox's treasure is. And let's start with these hints first and foremost. Number one, we find out that Rox knew about Imu's existence before he came to the Holy Land. He knew that the Holy Land was quote unquote Imu's Holy Land, and that one day he would come back. And this coincides very well with Sengoku's line in the Ultimate Chapter, stating how Rox knew the secrets of the world. How did Rox know about Imu's existence before Rox came to the Holy Land? So that is the first hint to explaining or revealing what Rox's treasure is. Number two, that he is a Davy Jones believer. The official translation of the chapters makes it very clear that Rox D. Xebec, he led his life believing in a lot of those core Davy Jones principles, which he himself utilized to amass his pirate crew, which is why his pirate crew don't respect him in the same way as, let's say, Luffy's crew or Whitebeard's crew or Shanks' crew, X, Y, Z, and the other, where these boys are attained through Davy back fights. And in the same way, if Chopper were to join the Foxy Pirates in earnest during that arc, Long Ring Long Land, he would never truly respect Foxy. But given pirate code and rules, he'd have to know the choice but to serve under Foxy. In the same vein here, we see with his crew. That's number two, the fact that he is a Davy Jones believer. And number three, his eyes set on Pirate Island. He talks to Arald about tricking the world government into getting them to fund his expedition to Pirate Island and taking their treasure, splitting it amongst themselves and the world government. But in reality, he wanted to control Pirate Island and make that his main base of operations, where he would destroy the Navy, conquer the world government, and then ultimately rule the world. So those are the three hints that lead to Rox's treasure that we get in the chapter. Now, let's combine hint one and hint two together to get a better understanding about what's going on. Why did Rox D. Xebec bring up the fact that he was a Davy Jones believer to Imu? That's a very strange thing to bring up, no? The narration makes a key point of that, and his aims were to try and extort Imu for, of course, some greater ambition. And my answer right now is this: because Davy Jones is in some way threatening or relevant to Imu. Now, there are theories that Imu, flipping around, means Umi, and many folks have believed that Imu could control the oceans in some capacity. And it's possible that Imu could be relative to Davy Jones, the real Davy Jones, considering the sinister nature of Davy Jones and that particular lore. Imu's own unique powers, its ability to give other folks powers as well, these things might tie to Davy Jones in some respects. But I think that Rox used Davy Jones in a more threatening capacity, in a threatening way to Imu. It wasn't just the kings, but it's also the fact that he was a Davy Jones believer and he can find Imu's location in the first place. All these things coincide to, I'm a threat to you and I will come back here one day, make no mistake. If that's the case, what could threaten Imu? There are many options, I think, for sure, that are threats to Imu, but in recent memory, we've only seen one thing really bring Imu to heel, bring Imu to its knees, and that one thing is the Haki of Joy Boy. The Haki of Joy that was still on the elders. Imu could feel that Haki, and Imu collapsed immediately, cursing the name of Joy Boy. Think about the overarching themes of One Piece right now. One Piece is a story about pirates first and foremost, and normally in the real world, pirates are not good people. These are the folks that invade your ship and say,
I'm the captain now.
Whether it be in the modern day or in the past, pirates for the most part are not seen in the best of light. But in fiction, these things are flipped around at times. Pirates of the Caribbean, the video games Skies of Arcadia, and One Piece are examples where pirates are actually more on the good side in most cases rather than the negative side. Pirates of the Caribbean a lot less so with only a few really like good or morally ambiguous pirates like Will Turner or Captain Jack Sparrow. But in One Piece, a lot of pirates are really good-hearted, good-natured pirates. Consider the fact that we have a situation in the world government where hell is in the highest parts of the world, run by the demon authority, the world government, and the elders. And pirates like Roger, like Shanks, like Luffy, and probably like Joy Boy were and are viewed in many respects by many people in a very positive light. And you can see how Oda draws Davy Jones himself in SBS 38, where he draws him in a very positive light for the most part. He's not some sort of evil demon that's tried to take people's souls down to his locker 10,000 leagues under sea. No. And the only person right now in the story that is worthy of being Davy Jones, it is Joy Boy, the very first pirate in the series of One Piece, and possibly made the Davy back fights a long time ago. Even though Rox himself did control Pirate Island for a long period of time, and he loves those fights. Remember, a very important detail stated about Pirate Island, long before Rox de Xebec, even though it's a wasteland, it is also the birthplace of the Davy back fights. And that is a very interesting detail there. The fact that Rox, who is a Davy Jones worshiper, targeted Pirate Island, who were going through a boom of some sort of renaissance after finding this gold, and all of the convicts and all of the criminals that were put there, Australia style, wound up building a settlement there. This very same location is also the birthplace of the Davy back fight. Coincidence? I think not. So in this case here, it is very possible, very likely, that Davy Jones is Joy Boy. Now, is the D in the D clan Davy? Possible. But the key thing here is that, again, Davy Jones could be Joy Boy. He is the only pirate that is fitting of the title right now, Davy Jones. And the proof that Davy Jones is a very ancient pirate is the fact that Rox himself could play these games, him knowing this custom, and it was created on Pirate Island long before Rox was even born. And now we can jump all the way back to Imu. Replace Davy Jones with Joy Boy. If he's a Joy Boy worshiper, then Rox de Xebec would have the Eye of Imu, lied to the world government, took their resources, and instead took control of Pirate Island. There is a particular severe grudge that the world government, that the Marines, Imu itself would have against Rox de Xebec. And what's interesting is the fact that on Pirate Island, the folks there did find a large stockpile of gold. Specifically, it was a gold deposit, so the criminal underbelly of the world, they went there to go and help mine the gold that they found in this gold deposit. Was gold the only thing they found on Pirate Island? I think it is very, very likely that things that used to belong to Joy Boy himself were located on Pirate Island, hidden away. And when the gold was found, that was a sign from Rox, who knew the secrets of the world, also likely knowing who Joy Boy was, because if he knows about Imu's existence, then he probably knows about Joy Boy's existence too. And if there were any remnants that existed of Joy Boy on Pirate Island, these things would be more valuable than the gold itself, since he worshipped him. In the very same vein as a LeBron fan, probably hanging and framing a LeBron jersey that was signed by LeBron James himself, or Ronaldo fan, or Tom Brady fan, you name it. It is an item of too great importance, even better than gold. Though it comes another layer, but I'll get there real soon. The idea is simple. If among the gold that was discovered on Pirate Island, there was also a particular item that was found there, Rox would do his damnedest to get that item at all costs. And in reality, there's another hidden meaning, a double layer to why Rox wanted to control Pirate Island. And I think, drumroll please, I think it's the straw hat that we see Imu look at in the frozen room. Correct. The treasure of Rox de Xebec that was stolen from him by the world government was the giant straw hat that Imu kept frozen over. The only item, if not the last item, that exists of Joy Boy, aka Davy Jones. Now everything can kind of be pieced together. Rox de Xebec, knowing the secrets of the world, also knew of the existence of Imu and Joy Boy. He went to the Holy Land to threaten Imu to try and amass power, but didn't work. But he established himself as a threat to Imu, particularly as a Davy Jones worshiper who was also Joy Boy. He then also knew about the success of Pirate Island, and he himself amassed a crew through Davy-back fights in order to get a force to take control of Pirate Island. In doing so, amassing money, amassing manpower, and also getting access to the treasure of Pirate Island, which also included the ancient straw hat of Joy Boy, the man that he worshipped. Upon knowing the threat level of Rox de Xebec, understand that he knew certain secrets of the world. Once Imu became aware that Rox gained access to Joy Boy's items, probably made the call to the Marines and world government. They stole the giant straw hat. Rox then, in a rage, tries to find some sort of way, some sort of access to get his treasure back, and then word gets out via Guinea on God Valley that the Marines and the world government, even elders, are on God Valley. Boom. Rox's ticket to gain access to his treasure that he got stolen from him. So he goes to God Valley with the intent of gaining knowledge, capturing elders, celestial dragons, as a means of extorting them for what Imu took. If the kings didn't work, then surely the elders, celestial dragons, holy knights, they would work as a means of extortion to get what he got stolen from him. But in the process, he dies. Now, a few notes. When you go back to the God Valley flashback in chapter 1096, it's kind of alluded to that the treasure may be on God Valley too. For example, they may have brought the strat over as one of the prizes to these celestial dragons, though that seems unlikely. Or the Marines were staying there en route to the Holy Land, and those Marines / world government nobles, maybe even J. Garcia Saturn himself, were watching over Joy Boy's straw hat. And then when Ginny leaked information about treasure from Pirate Island being on God Valley, he came for that treasure, the strat, specifically like Garp said he would in that very same chapter. And then note number 2 is in the chapter 1122. In that very small Ameth flashback, we get to see a silhouette of Joy Boy, and it looks like Joy Boy has some sort of Captain Hook arm and a peg leg. If that's the case, then the Joy Boy we see in this flashback could be post Void Century or post all the major fighting where the ancient civilization lost and the 20 kingdoms won. In this flashback, Joy Boy still has his straw hat, which means that Imu probably didn't get the straw hat until much later on, because Joy Boy had on his person and Imu wouldn't have the straw hat frozen away for the last 800, 900 years. This is what I think Rox's treasure is, and I believe there's one last layer to this, or it could go even deeper. A lot of folks believe that the straw hat that we see in that frozen room has a particular usage. It's actually useful for something. Now, some folks would argue that it has its own power, a power to change fate, grant wishes, like let's say it's a genie's lamp, something of that sort. We know that hockey could be embedded into the Ameth knot, and maybe hockey was somehow embedded into the straw hat in some way, which makes it particularly unique and valuable, particularly where in some way this could lead to the One Piece treasure. It may have signs to, let's say, road poneglyph or poneglyphs in some way, or it could even be an important item that you need to gain access to something on Laugh Tale, something that even Roger couldn't get because Roger was too early. It could have been, or could be, a key to the ultimate treasure. You don't necessarily need to have it, but it could be a way to get access to the treasure, or at least know where it's located. If Rox de Xebec knew about all of the world's secrets, he probably also knew about the existence of the One Piece treasure. According to Goldie Roger Company during the Odin flashback, they had to go to Lodestar first and learn intel there, and then from Lodestar, he was able to figure out that there was actually another hidden final secret island. But if Rox somehow knew all these things already, then Rox probably thought that he needed the straw hat, Joy Boy straw hat, in some way to gain access to the final treasure, the One Piece. But at the bare minimum, it is an item of the very person that Rox worshipped. And right now, this is what I believe the treasure of Rox de Xebec is, the giant straw hat in the frozen room. But let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If you enjoy your boys' video content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.